Welcome to our deep dive today. We're bridging two quite different areas, philosophy and decentralized systems.
That's right. We're looking at James P Carse, the philosopher, and his book, Finite and Infinite Games.
And specifically how his ideas really resonated with Aya Miyaguchi, who heads up the Ethereum Foundation. How she's applied them to, well, to Ethereum itself.
Exactly. We've got Carse's core ideas lined up, his thoughts on money, too, which are quite interesting, and then we'll trace that line straight to Aya Miyaguchi and see how this philosophy plays out in the real world in tech.
Okay, let's jump in. Carse makes this really core distinction, doesn't he? Between finite and infinite games. What's the gist?
Right, so finite games are probably what most of us think of first. They're played to win. That's the whole point.
Okay, win or lose.
Precisely. You've got known players, rules that are set in stone, an objective everyone agrees on, and crucially, they end. A winner emerges, which means there's also a loser.
Carse says the loser dies as a player in that game.
Yeah, in that context, exactly. And winning gets you a title, champion, winner, whatever. The key thing is, you try to eliminate surprise. You train against the unexpected because that could make you lose.
Preparation dictates the outcome.
You hope so, yeah. But then you have the infinite game.
Which is not about winning.
Not at all. The goal is simply to keep playing, to continue the game.
Okay, that's a twist.
It really is. Players can be known or unknown, they can come and go, and the rules, they can actually change while you're playing.
So the objective isn't fixed, it's just more game.
Exactly. Perpetuate play. Keep things open. And surprise, you don't avoid it.
You welcome it. Why?
Because surprise is what keeps the game going. It introduces new pathways, it reshapes how you see the past, it ensures the future isn't predetermined. It's about being educated for surprise, not trained against it, learning to adapt.
That changes everything. And Carse applies this outside of just games, right? To systems.
Oh, definitely. He uses these great metaphors. Finite thinking sees systems like a machine.
Built for a purpose, external force, efficient.
Right, outcome focused, designed to work smoothly, almost invisibly. But the infinite view sees systems more like a garden.
A garden. Okay, how so?
A garden has its own internal energy. It's, spontaneous. It thrives on variety, maybe even some weeds. Growth happens organically from within, not just directed towards one single perfect output.
I'm starting to see the connection now to Ethereum and Aya Miyaguchi.
It's a direct line. Aya explicitly mentions Carse's book as a key influence. She actually coined the phrase infinite garden to describe Ethereum.
So not a perfectly engineered machine, but this living, evolving ecosystem.
Exactly that. It needs gardening, tending, nurturing, helping maintain health, empowering others rather than trying to dictate everything, welcoming diversity.
Letting it grow, maybe in unexpected ways.
Yes. And this whole philosophy really shapes how the Ethereum Foundation operates under her guidance. It informs their main principles.
What are those core principles?
Well, first is stewardship of values. Things like open source, permissionless access, credible neutrality, decentralization, holding on to those core beliefs.
Even when it's tough, presumably.
Right. Second, long-term thinking. Focusing on what helps the network thrive for years, for decades, not just chasing short-term wins, playing the long game.
Okay. And the third one sounds really counterintuitive. Subtraction.
It does, doesn't it? But it's key to the gardening idea. Subtraction means consciously choosing not to do things.
Not taking control.
Exactly. Not stepping in where the community, the ecosystem is already working well, or where others could build something. Aya calls it ninja work.
Ninja work. Because it's subtle.
Subtle, and actually requires more effort sometimes. It's harder to coordinate and trust decentralized efforts than it is to just centralize and command. It's about letting go of control strategically to keep the infinite game decentralized.
Wow, that's a different kind of leadership. The merge upgrade must be the poster child for this then.
Absolutely, perfect example. That huge shift to proof of stake wasn't some top-down directive from the foundation.
It felt like it came from everywhere at once.
It did. It was years of work by multiple independent teams coordinating, collaborating. That's the infinite game in action, players working together to ensure the game itself continues, gets better. The EF acted more like a coordinator, a supporter, lending legitimacy based on transparency and alignment.
So success isn't domination, it's continued flourishing, cultivation.
Precisely. And this whole way of thinking, Carse's ideas brought into practice by people like Aya, it gives you a really powerful lens.
For looking at more than just crypto networks.
Oh, yeah. Competition, cooperation, big global challenges, maybe. It pushes back against always needing a winner and a loser, an end point.
So the question for you, Listening is maybe. In the different games you play at work, in your community, hobbies are you playing to win, to reach an end? Or are you playing to keep the game going, embracing the surprises, fostering possibilities?
Yeah, it's a different way to think about what progress or even just participation really means. Are you building a machine or tending a garden?